Welcome to the Keeping It Wood podcast. Yeah, we're back, and I've got Cody motherfucking Troutman on the podcast tonight.
The trout is here.
The trout is here. Have no doubt, the trout has arrived.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, I could have done something a little bit better than that, but
dude, no doubt trout. I like that nickname.
No doubt trout. Ooh, that's what it is.
I tried to give myself that nickname years ago.
Yeah?
Didn't stick, but I tried.
Why did people doubt you?
Just when you give yourself a nickname, nobody like I tried, like Cody Trigger, really wanted that one to catch on.
Oh, yeah.
Called myself Cody Trigger all the time.
Yeah.
Didn't work.
No
doubt trout. I don't know, people just see me as more of like a math guy than like a, in the streets guy.
Not like, it's like, oh, it's the trout is here. It's like, oh, this is a little fishy. Like,
yeah, exactly.
I made that. I don't know if you saw. I did like the Between You, Me, and This Tree video.
Yeah.
And DeMar DeRozan got in a fight at a sushi restaurant.
Ooh.
And I was like, I don't know. Something about this just seems fishy. And I was like, that's so stupid. It's so dumb. It's so stupid. But I've just got to get it out there. Sometimes you just got to like let the bad ones out.
You got to feed the beast.
You got to
sometimes.
feed them. Because you never know what's going to go viral. Sometimes stupid shit goes viral.
Dude, the podcast clip I uploaded last week, I've had so many clips that I think are so funny or that I think are like really like high quality, and they never get any traction.
Right.
It's always the ones that have like a controversial element to them. It was just Andrew Patterson. He's bald. He's talking about if he wears a Hawaiian shirt, people think he's a neo-Nazi because that's like the uniform. And then I just like had a couple quick riffs on that. Posted that being like, it's kind of funny. And it got 400,000 views. Everybody in the comments, I was like, oh, do people like my jokes? I looked at the comments. Every comment is just a vicious argument over neo-Nazis, the merits of Nazism, people saying Hitler was right. People are like, you racist piece of shit. Fuck you. Like,
wow.
Crazy. And I even left a comment and like pinned. I was like, but do you guys like the riffs though? On my own post, some guy was like, shut the fuck up.
Wait, so like the neo-Nazi uniform is Hawaiian shirts?
That is unconfirmed. The comments did not help solve it at all. Some people were like, yes, if you're wearing this, it means you're secretly racist. And then other people were like, no, that's just the Boogaloo Boys who were actually corrupted by the CIA. And, I was like, what the? I don't know any of this shit.
Does Tommy Bahama know about this?
He must. He's in on it.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Damn. I've said this a couple times before, but like people thought that the Keeping It Wood podcast, like there's a couple people that reached out and they're like, hey, is this like a Aryan Brotherhood one? I'm like, what? And it's like a thing called like Peckerwoods.
Really?
It's like an Aryan Brotherhood thing. And they're like, yeah, stay wood or whatever. And I'm like, no, fuck off. Like,
that's so crazy.
And so I thought about like changing the name, and I was going to change it to like the Naughty Nugs podcast, which I thought was cool and clever. But you look that up, that somehow is also racist.
Dude.
So I'm just like, I give up. I was like, you know what? You could think I'm a Nazi, fucking whatever, dude.
And you'd be right. No. I do think at some point every meme, every joke, every cultural thing has been co-opted by somebody that's racist, and now inevitably it's always that person who... It's like the lens that it's viewed through. It's like 100 people might wear Hawaiian shirts and one of them's racist. It's like, oh, racist people wear Hawaiian shirts. Right. That kind of thing.
That's so wild. But it's crazy that like, stuff like that would go viral. Andrew Schultz always said like the things that are going to go viral are like the stuff that you can like send to everyone in the office. So it's like there's so many clips, there's so many jokes that you're like, God, I want this one to go. Like I just want it to be viral. I want it to be great, And then it's not. It's always the one that's like fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Like I did a Between You, Me, and This Tree about like Luigi Mangione. Mm-hmm. That went well. You know what I mean? I did one about fucking Katy Perry. And there's one guy commented, he goes, or because like the Between You, Me, and This Tree was about like, it was like, I don't know who was more mad about Katy Perry going to space, flat earthers or broke people.
I saw that one.
Yeah.
That one was funny.
And I was like, no, because like fucking rich people aren't complaining about this. Rich people are like, yo, wait, this is an option?
Yeah.
This is an option? This is something that we could do?
I think they're getting in line.
Because if I had money, like enough money to be like, yo, I can go to space and just like kick it for, yo, I'm fucking getting prostitutes. I'm gonna be the first one to clap some cheeks up there. Like I'm gonna
probably not the first.
I'm gonna take a dab. I'm gonna do fucking. There's so much that you could do. I'm the first person in space to do this, or the first person to do this in space, or whatever. You know, like there's so it's like who's. But then one guy comments under it and goes, "She's still not gonna let you hit." Like no fucking shit, dude.
And
like,
she might though.
If I'm like, yo, sis, I have this idea. I could be your firework.
True.
In
little
space.
Teenage dream.
Yeah, dude. Fuck. Ugh, that'd be amazing. Well, fuck yeah, dude.
So I'm eating these snacks. I'm almost done. I was just so hungry.
Dude, I went to the taco truck like right before this because I left.
The one right across from JJ's Alley?
Yeah, so I went, I did Bricktown, and then I was like, fuck, dude. Like, I let the dog out, and I was like, I'm hungry. I was like, I need to eat before this.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went down to the taco truck, and like, fucking a homeless dude was like having conversations with himself. And I'm like, hey, man, can you like please move? Like, I need tacos, and then I've got a podcast to do. So
that's one thing about homeless people. If you watch them long enough, you realize they're never alone.
No.
Even if they're by themselves, they got company in there.
They're always there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I always like to help them out, you know. They're like, there's demons everywhere. I'm like, oh, right behind you, like to the left, to the right, you know.
You're calling them out.
I sit there on the patio and do that all the time. There used to be a homeless guy that would like, allegedly, he would like, the staff here, they nicknamed him Beef Jerky.
Okay.
Yeah, because he would break in here and jerk off.
Oh, that is not where I thought that was going.
No,
that's really funny.
No. And so there was one night at like 3 a.m. on a Wednesday that the fire alarm starts going off, and then my dog just is not a big fan of those, and just curls up on top of my head, and it's like, and I'm like, the fuck? So I go out to the hallway, and I like, no, someone just pulled the fire alarm. I just went back to sleep. So I asked the maintenance guys the next day. I was like, yo, what was the deal with that? They're like, yeah, fucking Beef Jerky, dude, just went in there and was smoking a cigarette on the second floor, and I was like, that motherfucker.
Wow.
So mad, dude.
He's jerking off, smoking in the building. He's acting like he lives here.
No, right?
Unbelievable.
I mean, sometimes they do.
Yeah.
They just kind of just chill out in the little doorways or whatever, man. But, dude, fuck yeah. I'm glad you're back. You've got the Cody Trout Pod.
I do indeed. The most cleverly named podcast in the state.
Yeah, have no doubt the Trout Pod is.
It's just my name.
And you recently put out an episode
did
that I really, really enjoyed personally. It was about you being sober because like you were full blown, never done drugs, never drank,
never had a good time.
Never had a good time, dude. Fucking A. Never went to Reno and snorted a fat line out of a stripper's butthole, dude. Like
never have done that.
Never boozed Skittles.
No, totally sober.
Yeah, man, that's awesome, dude. I respect that. You know, my mom was the same way. Like, my mom never drank. She never smoked in her entire life. You know what I mean?
Dang, that's pretty cool.
But it was funny. She was diabetic.
Yeah.
And so, like, when she'd be in the hospital or whatever, and they're like, hey, you know, we got to get you. She's like, can I please just have a soda? Can I please have a Coca-Cola?
Yeah.
She's like, I've never done drugs. I've never drank my whole life. Just give me a damn Coke.
Yeah,
you know? I was like, Mom, you're a cokehead. Like, chill it.
I'll get that way about Coke Zero sometimes, man, because I love some Coke Zero. Sometimes I'll be jonesing. Like, after a bad set, I'm like, God, I need a Coke Zero. It's a good thing I don't do substances because I would abuse them. I'm not a moderation guy.
So that's one thing. I had like some things. I was watching it today, and I had little notes that I was doing. But first off, you did an hour podcast by yourself.
I did.
Like, legend.
An exercise in narcissism.
Oh, man. I've tried doing like podcasts by myself.
Yeah.
And it's like 30 minutes, and I'm like, that's about all I can do. You know, I'm like, So that was pretty cool. I really dug that. Two, you talk about facing things sober, which I think is so important. Because I think a lot of people, like me, myself included, like, you know, when my mom passed away, I was like, okay, I'm going to take like a few days off. I'm not going to drink. I'm not going to do, right? And then I thought like, okay, 4 days was enough. And I was like, it was not, you know? And then you start getting drunk. You start getting real, real sad. You know what I mean? So, but it's like, it's really important to like face these things. and to like actually just like feel emotions, and kind of work that out, you know. So that I thought that was really cool. Struggling with moderation was another thing, and that's my thing. Is like I've been trying to like quit drinking for like a couple of years, like before I actually started doing it. I was like, no, I'm just gonna take. If I go out, I'm only gonna have like 3 beers. Yeah. Right. But like I would have 3 beers, and all of a sudden, like here comes like a gang of baddies, like, oh my gosh, JJ Wood, let's take shots, and I'm like, well, okay. You know?
I've never ran into that problem. I don't have gangs of baddies after me.
No,
that'd be tough. That's tough to turn down.
You know, so that it's. But I would try that. I'd be like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do. And then like, oh, one more beer won't hurt me. And then that one beer turns into like, oh, fuck, I blacked out again. You know, like, shit. Like, wake up, my dog's staring at me like, do you know what you did last night? It's like, I don't know. You know? So, but like, like moderation is hard for me because I'm the same way. Like if I want to do something, I'm going to go full in on it. You know what I mean? Like I can't just, like I chug Mountain Dew. Nice. I can't just sit there and enjoy Mountain Dew. I'm like, fuck yeah, Mountain Dew. And I'm just like, I just slam it real quick. You know, I don't think that's healthy.
I mean, probably not. But at the same time, I mean, there's worse things you could be doing. Right. That's, it is tough to sip a good ice cold soda. I agree with you there, though.
No, it's like I really just want to like slam shit, you know? Yeah. But what's been really great about like me, like not drinking and still living downtown and stuff is a lot of the bars around here, bless them all, they have gotten a whole heap of like NA beers. Oh, because that was my one thing. It's like, I just love the taste of a good beer. I just don't like getting drunk. You know what I mean? Because I was like, I'm fucking doing stupid shit. You know, like, you know, but I just love like the taste of like a good beer and still being able to like go out and socialize. Yeah. A little bit, you know. So that was kind of cool. But
on the NA beer, so you know Jaden Rogers, young guy with long hair. Yeah. Excuse me. At Bricktown earlier tonight, he was like, "Dude, I don't have any cash." I was like, "Shocking." He's like, "Can you buy me like one of these non-alcoholic White Claws?"
Yeah, those are fire.
And I was like, "Yeah, sure." He was like, "I just really want one, but I'm trying not to drink." I was like, "Hey, that's great. Yeah, I'll buy you one." So I got him one. It was $9. I was like, "Damn, bro!" I was like, "You got to get a cheaper hobby. This is bad."
Yeah, and that's one thing. Is like, there's never a happy hour for NA beers.
Yeah, I've never even like had I usually just try to sneak in a Coke Zero or take water. Yeah, but I was shocked at the price of that, and the bartender said it with such a straight face, like that'll be $9.
You're like, wow. Fuck.
I was like, that is really bold to be able to stand on that price.
Yeah, it was funny because I got a couple of those tonight, and she would crack one open. I'm like, ooh, you hear that? You know what that is? Sundress season. Yeah. Like, anytime a White Claw opens up, there's a sundress. Mm-hmm. Anytime someone opens up a White Claw, there's some girl in California putting on a sundress.
True. I think that is a real statistic I've heard.
Yeah. I bet we could chat GPT. We could chat GPT that. And then
I bet.
So yeah, but like I love like the NA things. Those are kind of good for me, and it's actually helped me out a lot and stuff because it's hard. Just like I would go out and just try to drink like Red Bull. Yeah, and that's not good.
I've never had a Red Bull. Is it just like a lot of caffeine?
Yeah, it's a lot of caffeine, dude. Have you ever heard of Sam Miller?
Sam, is that a person?
He's a comedian.
I haven't met him.
But he's great. You would love him, dude. He's so funny. I did a couple shows with him in Austin. Nice. And but he's also like he's been sober for like 16 years. He used to do like meth and all this shit, and like used to be a burglar.
So he did it the cool way. I just never did anything fun. Right. But there's a bunch of people that are like, yeah, I'm sober now, but I used to like do drugs and fuck bitches. I'm like, cool.
That's so dope.
I know.
But no, he just drinks like half Red Bull, half soda water. Yeah. And I'm like, fuck, dude, that's a lot too. Because like for me, like if I drink like 2 Red Bulls, dude, I'm not gonna sleep for 3 days.
The reverse blackout.
Yeah, like I'm remembering everything. And everything is not supposed to be remembered. So yeah, that was cool. Also, snacks are also my vice. Dude, I live above a cookie place that just started a rewards program.
Oh, you're in trouble.
And they're so nice, and those cookies are so good.
Yeah.
And like I went in, I was like super baked, and I was like, yeah, I just need to get some cookies. And they're like, hey, we got a rewards program now, right? And I'm like, fuck. Well,
you're like, I need to be signed up for the penalty program.
Yeah.
That's what you like. Places should offer that. They're like unhealthy. They should offer programs like every, like, it's usually buy 10 get one free. It should be buy 10, the 11th one is triple price. Like they should punish you,
like, dude,
so you can sign up. Like, hey, I'm trying to quit. They're like, cool, we'll help you out. Like, you now pay double.
It's like, I'm really trying to quit drinking. Well, here's a $9 White Claw.
Yeah,
so, fuck
shit.
Yeah. So yeah, that was cool. What are your favorite snacks though?
My favorite snacks, dude. A point you were saying on this, like, when I was talking about like being able to face difficulties without relying on escapism.
Yeah.
I don't just apply that to alcohol. Like, I would tell myself, oh, I'm being like this really responsible person. But anytime things would get hard, I would just like eat my feelings, whether it was like fast food or a warm cookie, like whatever it was. I would just be like, oh, I'm just going to chug a Coke Zero and eat a dozen peanut butter cookies in one sitting, and that's not good either. Right. So I think just learning that, like I could rationalize by being like, oh, I'm quote unquote sober. I'm doing it like the smart, responsible way. Kind of realizing that, no, that's just like a hard cope and I still have a lot of shit to work on.
Yeah.
That was tough to learn, but I've been trying to eat better lately, so we'll see.
Same.
What are my snacks? So the snacks I have to eat now, I actually, dude, I was really sick for a long time.
Yeah.
And my stomach is like permanently destroyed. I had a parasitic infection. It's just now like clearing up. It was really bad. But I have to take all these medicines and eat like really specific foods. Mm-hmm. So I can't have any grains, any gluten, any added sugar, anything like that. So my go-to snack has been these baby food purees.
Nice.
So this one is just pears, zucchini, blueberry, and spinach. They grind it up and they put it in this pouch. And then I have sugar-free jerky and Lara bar with the only ingredients are like blueberries and dates. So is it delicious? No. But is it filling? Also no. So those are the snacks I've been eating. Yeah, I mean, I guess. I don't know. That's the thing, is like I've been eating a lot better and exercising like consistently for like 3 months. Mm-hmm. Nobody's noticed. I'm like, well, I was getting fat for years slowly, and now I'm like taking my shit seriously. Nobody notices. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
I've been with my girlfriend for like 4 years. She's like, I think you're sexy at any size. I'm like, I should just be fucking 400 pounds.
It's like, I need you to be a little bit more honest with me, babe.
Yeah. I was like, that would be so fun. But what is my go-to? I would say, this is like some fat boy shit right here. So at my peak of snacking and coping, I would get, like Eggo has these Belgian waffles, which are just like thicker waffles. Yeah. I would put that in the toaster to heat it up. And then have you ever been to Trader Joe's?
No, I've heard of it.
So it's a grocery store and they have this stuff called cookie butter.
Okay.
It's basically peanut butter, but instead of like peanuts, it's just like cookies. I know it's
dangerous.
Dude, it is the most delicious substance you've ever had. So I would toast this waffle and then spread that cookie butter on it like you would peanut butter.
Oh my god.
And dude,
keep talking dirty. Keep talking dirty.
I would tank those things. My favorite thing to do was just eat like 3 or 4 of them and then pass the fuck out. It was literally like I was binge drinking. Like I was engaging in some nefarious behavior.
You know what? That sounds so fucking bomb.
It's really good. It's really good. I do miss them. They are so good.
Man. Oh. Yeah. Anyway, fucking hey, dude. Yeah, dude, I love snacks, dude.
Yeah.
I love snacks so much, dude. Like but I've been trying to do like healthier snacks as well.
Okay.
So I got on this thing called
crack.
Yeah, meth. Yeah. So that's been a cool thing.
Keeps you skinny.
Yeah. It was called Thrive, and
I think I've seen that. Is that like
it's like a healthier like grocery store option thing.
Okay.
And so
like something else.
And so like they'll like send like once a month, they just send me like a bunch of like snacks and stuff like that are like healthy and good for you.
Nice.
Because I've been trying to like eat a little bit better as well. Like I had a salad today. So
there we go.
But like even when I was a kid, dude, like when I was growing up, I would always choose an apple or an orange over like a candy bar.
That is
and
noble.
now I'm like, candy bars have a place in my heart too.
Yeah,
like, they have a place here.
Yeah,
Casa del Jage. But I love it, dude. Like, cause I still.
What's that saying? It's like an apple a day keeps the doctor away, but a candy bar a day keeps you from killing myself. Is that? I think I've heard that before.
Have you? I've never heard that.
No,
That's amazing. Fuck yeah, dude. Yeah, that's
New
a clip.
saying.
That's a clip. Yeah, dude. Dude, I'm such a big snack fan. Like my stoner friends, they'll just be like, "Hey, what do you got going on tonight?" I was like, "Oh man, I just got off work, dude. Just about to go grab some snacks and just chill, watch some movies." Like, what you got rocking? I'm like, some chocolate covered donuts.
Yeah.
Got me a ding dong, some ho hos. Yeah, some pink lemonade, dog. Oh.
See, they're fucking with the hose. You got the ho-hos.
Yeah, dog.
Double stacked.
Yeah, and ding dongs too.
Yeah.
So we're progressive in this household.
Yeah, you got them all.
It's all there. It's all there. But yeah, I love that.
Sometimes you put the ding dongs in the ho-hos. You call that an orgy. Start eating.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Or I said ho-oh. That's a Pokemon. You said ho-ho. That's the snack.
Yeah.
I do love Pokemon. I love that.
I can never really get into it.
Dude,
like I
so
tried
fun.
collecting the cards, but I'm like, well, I got this Charizard and I don't know what to do with it. Everyone's like, you want to play the game? I'm like, nah, not really. I just got this cool card though. It's nice and shiny. Like,
One of my best friends is a full-time YouTuber, and he makes just Pokemon content. And him and I just talk Pokemon all the time. Like Monday after the mic, we'll do like a weekly brainstorm sesh. Just like, because he knows a lot about like the online shit, and I know about like how to write jokes. So we like kind of help each other out. Like, here's how to make something he's working on funnier, and then he'll give me a lot of advice on like, hey, here's how you can approach like title and thumbnail and stuff. And so after the mic's on Monday, I went over to his house, and for like the first 3 hours, we just talked about Pokemon.
That's
and
so dope.
we watch professional Pokemon battles. Like we were trying to plan a trip to the Pokemon World Championship this year. And then he got invited by the Pokemon company because he's like a Pokemon YouTuber. And so he gets to go for free and stay in the, so I don't get to go with him because I'm not like, Pokemon celebrity, but
Man.
that's like the coolest shit of all time.
oh, that's so awesome. That's
Dude,
the thing.
Yes. Pokemon VGC.
God
Love
bless
that
him.
shit.
See, okay, so here's my thing. When I was growing up, I always like, I played with toys. Right?
Yeah.
Like, as we all did as kids, And one of my
I got one in my ass right now. Love toys.
One of my favorite things to do when I was a kid is I would have like whales, and then I would just play with the whales in the bathtub. Nice. Right? And so then you get older. And one of the hardest things was being like, man, I can't play with these anymore, dude. Like,
why not?
Yeah. So it got weird. So I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna watch wrestling, right? So then I started to watch wrestling, and then everyone's like, well, wrestling is fake, and I'm like, fuck you. So then I'm like, fuck, dude. I'm just trying to fit in with everyone. I'm trying to like find out who I am, So I tried yo-yoing, and that lasted for like 3 months. Then I tried Pokemon, and I was like, this is lame,
Dang. Pokemon's sick.
And then that's when skateboarding came in. So
there we go.
Skateboarding, that was cool.
Yeah.
And then I cracked my tailbone doing that.
Ooh.
That hurt. So then
That does hurt.
Yeah. So then I learned how to play guitar. So that was the thing. And then the Xbox came out.
Yes.
Super stoked about that. Little
Yeah.
Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
Mm-hmm.
Little amped snowboarding game.
Mm-hmm.
And then that motherfucking Halo game showed up.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck that game, dude. Man, the thing is, I was never good at it. I was like, this game sucks. I don't like doing this. But all my friends were good at it. So I never got to see my friends. Dang. I'd like go over and like, hey guys, you want to go skate? It's a nice day. They're like, nah, man, we're playing Halo. And I'm like, go over, hey man, you guys want to go play frisbee golf? No, man, we're playing Halo. I'm like, hey, these girls want to come over. And they're like, is it cool if we just hang out and play Halo while they're here? And I'm like, this is stupid. Like, what are we doing? So I would get excited to go to school because I'm like, you can't bring Halo with you to school. This is 2005, 2006. I'm like, y'all can't do that. Then they would like call in sick to school.
Nice.
And stay home and play Halo.
Yeah.
And
Master Chief's got to level up, baby.
Yeah. And then I would just sit at lunch and have lunch by myself.
Dang.
Yeah. So fuck Halo.
That's tough.
I hate that game. Anyway, but yeah. So then another thing that you talked about that I like was you were talking about dating and not hooking up with drunk girls.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Which I think is that's a thing that like I have I'm not gonna say like I have a hard time not hooking up with drunk girls. I don't want to say like but like no, it's just like anytime like a girl's like hit me up since I've been sober and they're like, hey, what's up? And I'm like, fuck, dude, this girl's fucking hammered. I'm like, nah, I'll say, hey, holler at me in the morning, whatever, we can go do something. And like they will never hit me up after that. And I'm like, well, shit.
They're not feeling great.
You only want me when you're drunk. Like,
true. Sometimes it'd be like that.
But yeah, it's just like you just don't want to like take that risk. You know what I'm saying?
And I mean, it's different for me because like I don't do any substances. Like you still smoke and stuff. So it would, like I don't think that'd be too bad. Like if you were high and the girl was drunk, I feel like I feel like if the inebriation levels match up, you know, that's fine. But I never do anything. I just drink water and Coke Zero. So it's like I'm of full cognitive abilities, and so I don't know. I just always felt that it was not okay. And the only, I told the story on that podcast about the only time it ever like came up, which you know my podcast doesn't really have any listeners, so I will recap it shortly. But basically, I'm at a high school party. I was a very late bloomer.
Right.
I'm at a high school party. I'm 18. I've never made out with a girl before. And there's this girl there that likes me.
Right.
And all her friends are like, you should go for it. My boys are like, you can do it. You can do it. Don't be a fucking pussy. I'm like, okay. And then I started talking to her and I realized that, she'd been drinking.
Right.
And I was like, listen, like, I'm a horny guy, but I can't do this. So I basically, long story short, I asked her what she had to drink and when. Figured out she'd had her last drink at 12:30 a.m. And I went on Google and looked up, like, based on her height and weight and what drink she had and what alcohol was in them, like, how long would it take her to sober up? And it said, like, between 4 and 6 hours to be, like, totally safe. Like, it's usually, like, 1 hour per drink.
Right.
But if you want it to, like, fully flush out, like 4 to 6 hours. So I was like, okay, let's go 6 hours to be ultra safe. It was at 12:30 a.m. So at 6:30 a.m., she's good to go. So I told her, I was like, listen, we can
set your alarm.
Yeah, we can stay in this bed together. Don't touch me. And I set an alarm for 6:30 a.m. And I was like, I'll wake you up and we can make out. And she's like, fuck you, I'm going to bed. But I set the alarm anyway. I wake her up and I was like, listen, are you still into this? And she was like, oh, it's actually kind of like classic high school romance. She was like, it's actually kind of romantic that, you still want to kiss me, even like I look like, morning person and like, it's not last night anymore. And so she made out with me for like 11 minutes, which was awesome. Thank you. It was big. It was big for me.
Yeah, dude.
That's and since I was like a late bloomer, I also told her, I was like, also, we can't do anything more than make out. So I was like very demanding for like a horny guy trying to get some, but she was so nice about it. And we dated for months after that.
Oh, that's awesome, dude. That's awesome. Yeah, dude. It's definitely one of those things that I'm just like, I just try not to like hang out with, or I just try not to like hook up with drunk girls. But also I just like I never really go out, you know what I mean? So
you're on that hermit mode.
Yeah. In a sense, and that gets to my next thing. You were talking about like, not judging people. It's like if you want to do that, do what you want. But if you have a problem,
I got vices too, man.
Yeah, like if you have a problem though, like you should probably address that, right?
Yeah.
Which is fair. But it's like for me, I'm like, okay, you have a problem, that's cool. Or if you're just like super drunk, I just don't want to talk to you. You know what I mean? Then I'm just like, I'm good. And someone's like, hey, what's up, man? And like they're hammered. I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm going to go over here. Like, I just don't feel like talking. Which is like why I just like, I bartend during the day.
Yeah.
Because, like some people still show up and they're a little hammered and stuff. But like, it's easier for me to like kind of just be like, well, like you can leave now.
Yeah.
You know? But I cannot stand talking to like overly intoxicated people.
I get that. It is a different type of conversation.
Yeah, because as you're saying, like they get super close to you, and I'm like, dog, hey, back up, man.
Yeah,
you're too close.
They get really close,
and I'm like, you don't have to like, but there is like certain people, that like, and I have a lot of friends still that like do coke, and I'm like, I've told them, I'm like, hey man, like you're
a lot of them were at the mic tonight.
Yeah, but I'm just like, hey, listen, man, like if you're gonna do that, that's what you're gonna do. You're a grown ass adult, I'm not gonna tell you what to do, but
true.
When it gets bad, and I'm not going to feel as bad for you. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of shitty to say, but I'm like, get your shit in order.
Yeah, I think everybody has like their own like there's vices that are like more publicly taboo, like drugs and alcohol, but I think that like other vices can be just as crippling to your life, but they're not viewed as nearly as taboo in society.
Right.
So it can be, I try to just not like, you know, if somebody's vice or what they struggle with happens to be something that's like publicly viewed as taboo, you know, I struggle with eating like, or like overeating, binge eating, eating bad food, and like staying up really late.
Right.
Those are detrimental to my life. Like they make my life worse in every way.
Right.
But it's like not as like taboo or like sexy of an addiction. So it's like, you know, nobody really cares.
I just want to say one thing, that the waffle and the cookie butter, that's sexy as fuck, dog.
Yeah, that
made me
delicious.
so hard. That made my wiener wiggle so hard.
It is
you
delicious.
You were like talking about that, and I was like, oh fuck, dude,
I would recommend trying it once in your life. It is worth it.
Yeah, I'm going.
Yeah, if you go to Trader Joe's and you just say, "Where's the cookie butter?" They'll be like, "Come on now."
First time?
Take you to the back.
First time? Come on over here. So who recommended you, huh? The Trout, huh?
Ooh.
Oh, the Trout recommend. Yeah.
That man's keeping us in business.
Oh, yeah.
I hope they still have the cookie butter. Haven't been in months.
Man.
Had to wean myself off.
Yeah. But yeah, like, you know, like I try not to judge them, but it's just like there's certain people I'm like, I just don't want to hang out with you anymore. You know what
I get
mean?
that,
Like, we're just like not like compatible. Like we're just on like different wavelengths and stuff, you know. But like I still smoke, like as I said, like I still smoke weed and stuff, but like not as much as I used to.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm more of like like 1 or 2 puffs, and I'm like, okay, cool, then I'm gonna go do things.
Yeah.
You know, not like there's some people that are just like, we gotta smoke 4 joints before we even start the day, and I'm like, hey, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And I used to do that. You know what I mean? Like I've been to the 4th dimension, man. I've signed the wall. I've gotten a T-shirt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A couple things I had to take. You know, antibiotics for afterwards. You know,
Whoa, there we go.
Yeah. Mars is crazy, dude.
Oh, speaking of antibiotics, this is off topic. Brief story. On Monday night after the mics, Caleb McCurry was bitten by a cat that he fears has rabies. So he called a number of doctors, went to these clinics, and was like calling his insurance, like trying to get answers. And basically, there's no test for rabies. And by the time it's detectable, or by the time you show symptoms, it's too late. You're definitely going to die, 100%. And there's no way to test the animal for rabies either without killing it and getting a sample of its brain. So the advice that Caleb got from the doctor is either A, hope for the best, or B, if you want your insurance, because also you can take a preventative like
kill the cat.
Well, so you can take preventative shots, like if you think you have rabies, but they're like $1,000.
Oh shit!
To get your insurance to cover it, you have to get a verified positive brain sample from this cat. So they told him, go kill this cat and bring it to us, and we can test the brain for rabies, and then you'll know for sure. And he was like, man, I really don't want to do it, because he really loves animals. He puts on like a tough guy front. He loves cats. He has a cat named Isaac. And I told him, I was like, Caleb, I think you should kill this cat. I was like, bro, it's time to murder that pussy, okay? So I told him that I would kill the cat for him. So if Caleb is dead in a year, that means he did not kill the cat and he does have rabies. I offered him a glass of water at Bricktown, and he was like, whoa. I was like, oh, hydrophobia, that's rabies. So he is, the condition is progressing
quickly. He's on his
quickly.
way out, man.
Yeah.
Fuck.
He's going to die.
Fuck, dude. Well, we lost another good one.
Maybe rabies will activate his pituitary and he'll die at like 6'8". He'll just grow a bunch.
He'll be like, at least I knew what it was like to reach things on the top shelf.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, when it all comes down to it, man, that podcast episode was really great. I thought it was like a really cool thing that I really respected. You know what I mean?
Thanks.
Because like that's it's something, especially like in the comedy world, where people are like, oh man, like some people expect comedians to be just like super fucked up all the time, and it's like, nah, man, like we're also just regular people too.
It did make it a little harder to make friends, like when I was like newer, because I didn't like share any of the bonding activities, like everybody going out and slide and like sharing a joint after their set, or like sticking around like after a a mic to grab a drink together. Like, since I didn't do those things, it was harder to make friends at first.
Right.
So, but knowing that going in, being like, hey, if I have a different set of behaviors in this group, it'll just take them longer to warm up to me. So, like, you don't have to force it.
Yeah, no, man.
But now it's cool.
There's so many, like, it's wild, like, how many, like, sober comedians are out there.
I know. There's a lot of them.
Like, a couple of years ago, I hosted for Brittany Schmidt, and we did one show in OKC and then another one in Tulsa.
Nice.
And then on my way to Tulsa, I was drinking a latte. And then I was like, ooh, a Celsius. I thought it was just like a sparkling water, right? I didn't know it was an energy drink. And I was cracked out when I walked in. I was like, what up? I fucked up. Like, I didn't know this was an energy drink. She's like, oh, yeah, those will get you. You know? I was like, oh. But yeah, I thought it was a really, really cool episode, man. And it's nice when, like, a comedian can get, like, vulnerable for a second. So definitely you guys go to the Cody Trout podcast YouTube channel or listen to it wherever you stream your podcasts. And
you'll be one of a select few who does. It's it's very exclusive. It's not even behind a paywall or anything. It's just very underground.
It's really great, man. I definitely want to get on that. We tried doing an episode a couple of years ago.
Oh yeah, we did.
And then it didn't. We didn't put that out. Yeah, that was crazy. So yeah, let's get into some questions, dude. Let's get a little weird. Let's get okay.
I'm ready to get funky.
You ready? Okay. Question number 1. I called in sick and a coworker caught me at a restaurant at lunch. Ooh. I'm afraid that she will tell my boss. What should I do? Kill her. Take that bitch out, dude. Yeah. Is she a narc? Is she cool? Can you bribe her? What can you do? Those are your options. What would you do?
I think we would need a little more information because so the story is that they called in sick from work, and then the same day they called in, they were spotted at lunch. That is tough. And this coworker, I wonder why are they trying to rat this person out? I think obviously murder is an option. Murder is always an option. I think that needs to be kept on the table. I think that we also could be in a situation of kind of. Have you ever heard the phrase like putting bad money after good or good money after bad money, or like the sunk cost fallacy?
No, I grew up poor.
Well, basically, it's just like a thought experiment. It's basically like like in poker they call it, you think you're pot committed. Like, I already have chips in, I'm going to push more in. It's like you fucked up, you might get reported. Probably better to take those lumps than go an extra step and murder this woman instead of just getting like a small reprimand. Okay. Also, you could just talk to her, be like, hey, why are you trying to report me? Or head it off, call your boss and be like, hey, I was really sick this morning. I was feeling better. So I went out to lunch and I'm feeling much better. And I actually ran into Brenda and she said things are real busy at the office. Do you mind if I come back in for the rest of the day? Damn. You've totally flipped the narrative. So now instead of calling out and being lazy, he's like, oh my God, this guy was sick as a dog.
What a trooper.
And now he's going to come back in. And then Brenda calls him and is like, hey, I saw Marcus at lunch. And the boss is like, I know you did. And he just called me. Really appreciate you talking to him. You guys are a great team.
Yeah. And also, who told you to clock the fuck out?
True.
Yeah.
Now
why
Brenda's
are you not
fired.
here? Yeah. Now Brenda got fired.
And now that she's fired, the boss isn't keeping tabs on her. Now we can kill her.
Yeah.
Much easier.
You get a promotion. That narc is gone.
Yeah. Got to get her out of there.
That's how, yeah. Okay, here's the next one.
We handled that. We kill her either way.
Fucking hey, dude.
There we go, baby.
Problem solving over here. My 25-year-old daughter still lives with me, and she just sits in her room watching Netflix and doesn't get a job. I don't want to put her on the street, but I'm tired of her living with me at this age. What can I do to get her to get a job? Well, Glenda, let's just assume her name is Glenda here.
The daughter or the mom?
The mom.
Okay, mom named Glenda.
Your daughter has an OnlyFans. That's what that is. Your daughter is secretly rich as fuck. Because she's taking feet pics. She's locked in a room all day because she don't want you knowing what she's doing in there. You know what I mean? Is that Netflix? Is she watching Game of Thrones? What is she watching? I think she has an OnlyFans.
Interesting. Does she have an OnlyFans? You would think if you had the money from the OnlyFans, you would get your own place, though. Maybe she's just stacking paper, wanting to make some wise investments later. 25-year-old daughter locked in the room. She could have an OnlyFans. That is true. She could be secretly rich as fuck. Yeah. Just like, thanks, Mom. I do think if you're actually in this situation, you're going to have some uncomfortable conversations. Like, listen, what are you doing with your life? I still have to pay the bills. You have to at least contribute as well.
Right.
I think that conversation needs to happen.
Right.
I do like the quote that your life quality is directly dependent on how many uncomfortable conversations you're willing to have.
Ooh.
I think that's very true. So if this were a real situation, I would advise you got to have some uncomfortable conversations. You got to lay out your concerns. You got to say, listen, I'm not going to be here to baby you and take care of you forever. We have to get your life together. We have to at least get you jump started on a path. Let's get a 5-year plan together.
Yeah.
Or help her shoot the OnlyFans content. A little bit of a profit split situation.
Yeah.
Very common. Actually, Bonnie Blue, the woman that slept with 1,000 guys.
Oh, man.
Her mom was the one that vetted and chose all of them and checked them all in and handled the logistics.
So they already met the mother.
Yeah, so they had all met the mom, and then because Bonnie, by the time each guy only got like 30 seconds, so
Sometimes
she didn't.
That's all I need, baby.
Yeah, she didn't have time to check people in. So the mom was the one who chose all the guys and got them checked in.
Yeah.
And she was a sweet lady. When I met her that day, she was like, good. I actually met some lifelong friends in the line.
Yeah,
good guys.
Yeah, we had lunch. We had Chick-fil-A earlier.
Good guys.
Yeah. Oh man,
the guy that went right before me, because I like going right after him. Obviously, he had just came in there.
Yeah,
and I was like, dude, big load, nice.
Yeah,
I felt that.
So
I know she wasn't that wet for me. Well done.
Definitely got her all warmed up, bro. You know. It's dude, that's a crazy thing. And also there's Lily Phillips, like her Bonnie Blue and Lily Phillips.
The two British posh OnlyFans girls, they are at war.
Yeah, this is what happens when the queen dies.
Yeah, that's true.
The queen died, and these girls are just like, we're gonna fuck 1,000 dudes in a day.
The unfortunate part is they are hot, and so they will succeed at this.
Oh yeah.
There's no
you know what
chance of failure.
You know what Lily Phillips is doing now? She's going to
now?
nursing homes. And she's fucking people in nursing homes.
Oh,
and that, my friend. Papa, no.
Man, that's amazing.
That's where she definitely is going to get an STD. It's like nursing homes are notorious for like STDs.
I just imagine like a kid going to visit their elderly grandpa, and they're like, Peepaw, or no, oh, even better, the grandma catches Peepaw and Lily Phillips, and she's like, what? You told me you had erectile dysfunction. He's like, no, you just got slurgy titties, bitch.
It's a thing called Blue Chew.
Classic. Good old Lily Phillips. Wow.
Oh, man. But yeah, both of them are so hot, man. But it's just like, holy shit.
Yeah, so they're going to succeed.
Yeah. So yeah, anyway, just help your daughter fuck 1,000 dudes in a day. I feel like I asked this one already to someone else, but I had it on here. Well, we'll just do it again, though. I'm a landlord, and I have to increase rent, but I know my tenants can't afford the new price. What should I do?
Uh-oh.
Don't be a fucking dick, dude. Do you have to increase rent? I don't think you should. Why should, like, anytime that I live at a place, it's like I live at a place, I'm consistently paying my rent on time, there's no issues. Why are we continuing to raise rent? It's bullshit. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Or you just be like, hey, you could be like a sleazeball and be like, hey, I'm either going to raise your rent or you going to suck my dick. Which is an option. Like it is an option. You're not going to get the response you want, most likely.
That is true. But you might get some head.
Might
get some head.
That's
my answer now. No, I do think, so obviously there are a lot of bad landlords out there, but I have met people who like, own and manage properties and have been through kind of a similar situation to this. I think some of the factors at play in the background. Now, there is a large portion of landlords that are inherently doing something wrong, but let's assume for the sake of argument, it's like if they're just being assholes, I like your answer. Don't be a jerk. Don't raise the rent. But what if it is this small subsect that is like, I actually have to raise the rent, without getting into a larger conversation of who should have ownership of these houses, Why are we having to rent? Why is it so hard to buy? Like, if we're in this situation and we can't change the situation, we're just already in it. The landlord could be faced with a situation where you have four major areas of cost. You have your mortgage payment, you have your insurance, you have your property taxes, and you should have like a CapEx set aside, like money for maintenance, repairs, capital expenditures. And so we're going to, the three that like really matter, the property taxes, insurance, and mortgage, depending on your mortgage loan, your interest rate might not even be set in stone. Like a lot of times when you purchase a house, you get it on a 30-year fixed is like the most common. But a lot of these like investors that have multiple properties, they're able to get more creative with the financial instruments, but that interest rate might not be pegged for the whole term of the loan, and it might adjust to the market interest rate. So like the last couple of years, interest rates going way up.
Right.
All these guys are having to pay more in mortgage. So instead of like making a little money, they're probably losing a little money on the house now. And then depending on the area, like property taxes and insurance also go up pretty much just every year. So if all those costs are going up and now they're losing money on the house, they might have to raise rent just to keep the house, which also calls into question, like, why do they have it in the first place? Why not just let the person that was living there try to buy it? It's just really difficult. I think that is a tough question, and it's so multi-layered. There's so many elements at play.
It just kind of seems like you're gonna have to kick these broke ass motherfuckers out though, and you're gonna have to get some rich people in, dude. You know what I mean? Get some rich people in that can like go to space with Katy Perry.
On the housing subject, because I actually a lot, like when I work, I listen to podcasts, which is not unique, but I don't listen to like political podcasts, but I listen to a lot of economic and business podcasts. That's like my favorite thing to listen to. And one thing about the housing situation that I think is a little misunderstood is a lot of times it's like landlords or investors or BlackRock and Vanguard that get vilified for the housing situation. They are partly to blame, but only because the system is set up in a way where they can capitalize on it. Basically, the housing crisis situation right now is a lack of supply. Like basic laws of supply and demand is there's a certain demand for houses, and if that supply can't be met, the price moves up along that supply demand curve. If there was more supply and the demand was stagnant, which it probably would be, our population growth is stagnant, then the price would move down. So the solution is like, we just need to build more. Why hasn't anybody thought of that? Well, they have. The problem is that to get approval and permits in your municipality to build residential is very difficult. And a lot of people they talk out of one side of their mouth and they're like, oh, like we need affordable housing. But then if they live in a nice neighborhood, they don't want an affordable housing apartment complex built right next door. So they vote against that permit. It doesn't get issued. Nothing gets built. They build it somewhere else. So then they go somewhere else to try to build it. Same thing happens. Like, here's an interesting statistic, and we can move on. I know this is getting boring, but I remember last time we talked about the business practices of Arizona iced tea.
Yeah,
but
1,000 employees, crazy.
Yeah, that is so few. That's amazing. But this is very interesting. So you would think that like left-wing states that are really passionate about, and this is not a political discussion, this is just like an interesting externality that occurs. Left-wing states that are really passionate about like, let's end homelessness, and they spend way more to combat homelessness. You would think that it would work.
Doesn't.
But they're spending it in way, they're trying, but what happens is, so like San Francisco and Houston, two great examples. Houston is not a great place to be, but they have almost ended homelessness in Houston.
Really?
And they had to, then I think it was last year, the year before, they spent $70 million on combat homelessness initiative. That same year, the city of San Francisco, half the population spent $800 million, and homelessness got worse because the red tape to build affordable housing in San Francisco is so rigorous that nothing can get built. So no new developments are going up in San Francisco besides ultra luxury, because the only people who have enough money to get around all this red tape and litigation and have a project that will get approved because everybody wants if they own a home, they want the value to go up.
Yeah.
And if we build like cheap housing next door, the value goes down. But if you build some fucking swanky nice thing next door and the value goes up. So they only approve those type of projects.
Right.
So in San Francisco, some people in the local government are just like, well, fuck, what do we do? Like we can't get, so it's a lot of zoning, and they call them NIMBYs, which is an acronym, not in my backyard. So it's people that talk out of one side of their mouth and say, we want this to change, but out the other side of the mouth, they're like, yeah, but not here though. Like it's and then in Houston, they basically just said, hey, fuck regulation, we gonna build shit. So they built a bunch of affordable housing.
Okay. And
now there's still a lot of problems there, but homelessness is almost gone in Houston.
That's dope.
Very interesting situation.
So basically, Mr. Landlord, what you need to do is say, hey, listen, it's not you. And it's not me.
Yeah.
It's the system, bro. The system is fucked. Sorry.
Blame the system.
Blame the system, man.
I like that idea. Just go to your tenants and be like, listen, bro, I'm doing my best here. It's not you versus me. It's us versus the system.
The fucking system, man.
Yeah.
I've got one last question.
Oh, I'm ready.
And this is a big one.
Okay.
Why is peeing in the shower controversial? And do you pee sitting down?
Wow. Peeing in the shower? I did not know peeing in the shower was controversial.
I didn't know either.
That is news to me, and I pee in the shower every time. I actually have a ritual.
Yeah.
Before I can get wet, I have to pee into the drain. I've been doing that for years.
It's like your
So if I've ever showered at your house, I've pissed in there, just so you know.
Yeah, dog. It's time. It's like time management, for one.
Yeah, and it just feels good.
Yeah, it's just like, cool. Like I'm washing my hair, peeing at the same time. Like that's
true.
It's a good. But also, here's my thing. Here's my new thing that I've been doing for like several months now, is when I'm at home in the comfort of my own home, I pee sitting down.
Really?
Yeah. I was so tired of cleaning up piss off my toilet seat, because no matter like how good your aim is, no matter how good you're like, haha, this is amazing, like that, like there's pee everywhere.
Maybe not everywhere.
No, it's like all over the, like there's little pee particles. It just like flies out.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Microscopic piss particles.
And then it builds up over time, and I'm like, why is this a thing? Like this is like this. And so I sit down and I pee. But old Stinky Johnson, old Joel Morrison, he told me to do one thing better, and that's when I flush the toilet, set the toilet seat.
That does help.
Down. And it just gets rid of like it's nice to sit down and like answer some emails, you know, post some TikToks and shit like that, and just get a nice good pee in, and be like, okay, that's it, and then just do a little like do a little shake and shake and get out and go on about your day. But I never thought that like peeing in the shower is controversial.
Yeah, I didn't know that. That is that is not a controversy that I side with. I'm on the side of pro shower piss. But
shower pee, dude.
I am in the vast minority here, because I tried to make a bit about this worked, and I was shocked at the vehement disdain everybody had for it, because I refuse to pee sitting down, which is
okay.
I'm like kind of a pretty like progressive guy, so you would think like I'm just whatever, but I'm like, no, if you sit down to pee, you're a pussy. Like that was the bit I was trying. I said, you're a bitch, fuck you guys. And then of all people, like Austin Slaughter, Tyler Barris, Caleb, all these guys were like, dude, no, sitting down to pee rocks. I'm like, all you guys are bitches. I hate you. I no longer respect you. I was in the minority.
Wow.
Yeah, everybody else was like, dude, you got to sit down to pee.
I
was like, you got to stand up for what's right is what you got to do. But everybody disagreed with me. So I am in the minority there, but I am going to stand up to pee. I'll piss everywhere.
Yeah. Now, I will say, like, when I'm out in public, I'm peeing on walls, dude. Like, if I don't have to clean that shit up, bro, I'm peeing all over everything, dude. But I've always had a rule. Like, when I, like, working in, like, bars and nightclubs and stuff, I'm like, you never shit in the bar or the club after 9 p.m.
Okay.
After 9 p.m., that's a no-go, dude.
Okay.
Yeah, but if it's like 8:55, dude, go take a little speed poop real quick. You know, you got that.
Why is 9 p.m. the cutoff?
Because that's when the heathens come out.
Okay.
And that's when, like, you know, they're nice and a little bit more inebriated. The ones that have been day drinking all day have already puked and rallied in that shit. Oh, dude, it's fucking disgusting, dude. Like, honestly, I talked about it on my last podcast with my buddy E. Bathrooms in bars and nightclubs are horrendous.
Yeah, they're really gross.
It's so fucking disgusting,
really
dude.
Gross.
It's so gross, dude. Like, oh. But
I feel bad for the women that have to use these bathrooms and they have to sit down.
Yeah,
that's brutal.
But I will say, man, I'm pro shower piss.
I am as well.
That
we can agree on.
Yeah, I can agree with this. We can agree on shower peeing.
Yeah.
But I mean, you can stand up.
I'm the Lone Ranger, still standing.
Yeah,
to
you're
pee.
still standing, dude. But like, I'm gonna be comfortable, dude. I'm gonna be comfortable.
I get it.
And like back in like my drinking days, dude. Like if I was like hungover or shit, like I was like, fuck, I gotta pee. Like I just wanted to sit down for a second and like gather my thoughts, you know. Yeah. And I like, and sometimes I gotta poop too.
True.
I'm like, oh wow, like this pee turned into like, I got a shit, you know? Because that's the worst thing. That's the worst thing is like when you pee and then like you go back out and you're like, fuck, dude, I got a shit now, and then you got to go back to the bathroom. Huh? Yeah, that's not the guy you want to be at the party.
I don't know what kind of parties you're going to.
Like,
I'm not like,
well, no, it's like if you're just at a regular, if you're at a regular party, and you're like, I gotta go take a piss, and you go and you pee, and then you come out and like a few minutes later, you're like, fuck, now I gotta shit. Now you gotta go back into the bathroom. Now everyone thinks you're doing drugs, and you don't want to be that guy at the party.
That's funny. I've never even thought of that.
Yeah, but that's it. You know what? I want to talk about one last thing.
Yeah, drop it on us.
Yo, Kanye West.
Yeah,
dude. Or Ye.
Yeah.
Ye is his name now. And Ye was gay with his cousin.
True.
What are your thoughts on this?
I have been most surprised at the response from, I think, his fans or the black community has been very funny. And then also just like from a bunch of like his fans has been really funny is like when he was like selling merch with swastikas, they were like, hey, yo, he just like going through some shit. But he's like, yo, I sucked my cousin's dick. They're like, fuck you, Kanye.
They're like, God damn it.
Yeah. So it is bizarre. It's like, you know, he promoted rampant anti-Semitism, but like sucking a little dick, that was too far.
Yeah. I mean, it was like, it's your cousin's dick too.
Yeah.
I remember there was this guy, like, it was probably about like 10 years ago and stuff, but he sat in my living room and was talking. He was like drunk, talking about like, yeah, one time I jerked off on my cousin while he was sleeping. I was like, that's fucking weird, dude.
Whoa.
And so disgusting. And then like it got into like some political shit like online. And then he tried like coming at me, and I was like, dog, you sat in my living room and told me you jerked off on your cousin. Shut the fuck up, dude. Like all of your comments are voided, you nasty motherfucker.
That's funny.
Yeah. So
got him.
But yeah, fuck yeah, dude. Don't, as I said, man, come correct. You want to come at the king, dude.
True.
Like I ain't with that shit. But yeah, man, Cody, you got anything coming up you want to talk about? This is gonna come out Friday.
Let's see. Anything like shows or
shows? You got
tomorrow. I have the finals of the Looney Bin audition series,
dope,
so that'll be fun. So it'll be over by the time this comes out. I'll have performed the night before.
Nice.
But yeah, that the audition series they're doing there, I think is cool. Where it's like they invited, I think it was like 24 comics to perform on 2 different nights, and then picked like the best 4 from each to come back for like a finale show.
Nice.
And at the finale show, they'll have like the owner, the booker, and then 2 other bookers from other comedy clubs there. So it's like,
dope,
if
dude.
you do good, you could get somewhere maybe. But
nice.
We'll see.
There'll
be some.
You're gonna do great, man. If there's one thing about you that like I've always noticed is like you're one of the fucking hardest workers in this.
I try to be prepared.
Like you go to every mic. Yeah. Like it was like people are not. Are you gonna go to this mic afterwards? I was like, no. I was like, fuck that. I was like, there's.
It was terrible.
Yeah, there's some nights where I'm just like, I'm better off like just staying at home and writing or just running through my set in my mirror. That's how I like personally feel. I'm just like, I'm good. You know what I mean?
I probably should.
But there's some mics that I'm like, I just don't want to go and just sit in front of a bunch of comics that have just heard every joke that I've already. That was the thing about like Austin. Like when I was in Austin, I did 3 open mics just to have something to do during the day.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is trash.
I've heard the mics there are really
They're
bad.
hot ass, bro. I was like, this is garbage.
I've
but
heard
like,
that.
Luckily,
from a lot
I was
of
like,
people.
I'm on like cool shows, so I was like, I'll be okay. You know. But like, still, I was like, oh, this is like that was bad.
That is tough.
But Austin's still a good scene. You know, there's only like 40 good comics there and a bunch of edgelords. But
I do think that any big scene is inevitably like there's some really good comics, and then everything else is like pretty dog shit, just because it's so competitive.
Yeah.
Which is why I don't think it's a bad idea to like develop in a smaller scene like this.
Right.
Get a little more opportunities. Like some of the New York City comics that I talk to, like we get shows here all the time where we're doing like 15 minutes.
Right.
I've done multiple shows this year where I've done 20, 25, 30, and they're like, oh, I have a 15-minute set. I've never done 15 minutes. I'm like, you're succeeding in New York City. What spot? They're like, you usually get like 7 or 8.
Yeah.
Like some great comics I know are like, well, 15. I'm like,
Yeah.
whoa, that's so different.
Two of the other spots I got when I was in Austin were 5-minute spots.
Whoa.
And then but those are also like the shows that like the headliners would show up and drop in and kind of work on stuff as well.
Gotcha.
And so it was cool, but I'm like, this is all y'all are doing? Like just 5 minutes. It's like, okay, like that's dope. Luckily I was on like 2 shows with, Cody Myers and Roger McDaniels. Shout out those guys. Love them.
Cool dudes.
Where I was doing like 15-minute sets. So when I like pulled up to Austin and I was like, yeah, I'm here at Creek or the Green Room doing 15-minute spots. People are like, what the fuck? Like, how are you what? Like they were just like kind of bamboozled by it, you know, but all the other shows like, yeah, you're just doing like 5 to 8 minutes.
Dang.
You know what I mean? Which is like weird. And some of those open mics were like, oh, we're just going to do 1 minute. And I'm like, nah, I'm good on that.
Yeah, I've heard the mics there are tough.
Yeah, they are very tough. I'll say that. But, I mean, it's still a fun experience to go to. We actually have a show coming up together.
Do we really?
Yeah, dude. June 21st.
At Shawnee?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The White, that's like your cousin's spot?
Yeah. My cousin owns it.
White Lotus Gaming.
Yeah.
So is that like a arcade or?
It's like a tabletop and video game store.
Oh, dope. Okay.
Yeah, she opened it last year, I think, and then they were going to produce a comedy show there, and Jeremy Link was like, hey, I heard your cousin owns this. Do you want to be on it? I was like,
fuck yeah.
I would have rather been booked on merit, but I'll take it. You know? I would have rather the text said,
dude.
hey, you're really funny. Do you want to be on this show? Not like, hey, we feel bad because your cousin runs it, you know?
Yeah, no, I always hate when that shit happens.
But yeah. But
But yeah, it's you,
happy to be on
me, Lenny Van Horn.
I haven't seen that dude
and
forever.
Jeremy Link. Yeah, you know what? I just talked to him the other day. He called me.
Yeah?
On May 9th. I told him to hit you up too. We're doing the heckle hole.
Dude, I've done one of those before.
Are those fun?
Yeah,
It
really
seems
fun.
like a lot of fun.
What's it for?
It's like his wife's foundation. It's like a suicide awareness thing.
Yeah.
So I just want to make fun of some golfers and stuff.
I've done that before. It's really fun.
Oh, I'm excited.
Really fun.
So yeah, man, you got some cool things. The Cody Trout Pod.
Cody Trout Pod. We are committed. We're up to 24 listeners. The numbers are going crazy. But no, I think hopefully by the end of this year, I've built it a little bit more. I'm experimenting a lot with ideation, titling, thumbnailing, structuring the episodes in different ways, experimenting with a lot of formats. So we'll see. And I'm producing a show this summer that I'm gonna like turn into a live podcast.
Sick.
So we'll figure that out. It's still very much gray right now, but it's like 2 months away. So got plenty of time to figure it out.
If there's anyone that I know that can do it, it is definitely you, my friend. So
thank you, sir.
Mero, thank you so much
Dude,
for coming
thanks for
out,
having
man.
me.
No doubt.
Oh, that was crisp.
Yeah, that was a good crisp high five. This episode is brought to you by Float OKC. I forgot to say this. Float OKC, 180 West 15th Street, Edmond, Oklahoma. Go to Float OKC. Get your head right. Get your mind right. Get your body right. Go do all that shit. JJWoodComedy.com. Go to see all the other upcoming shows I have coming up. Follow me at JJ Wood Comedy on all your social media platforms. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe this episode. And subscribe to his as well. If not, Katy Perry will shit on you.
You're going to get a lot of people that are unsubscribing because they're into that.
Peace.